Here we have several dozen live ticks. What happens if we offer them a piece of pork? Let's find out how ticks find their food through an experiment today. It's early summer again, a season when tick activity increases. Ticks are pests that feed on blood, moving from one host to another, spreading a variety of diseases along the way. Some ticks, like Haemaphysalis longicornis, can carry SFTS, or severe fever with thrombocytopenia syndrome, a disease with a high fatality rate. So today, to show how ticks find their hosts, and what kind of stimuli they respond to, I headed up to the mountains. Catching wild ticks is surprisingly easy. You just need to drag a piece of cloth through grassy areas like this. Since it's hard to do alone, I asked a friend to help out. So we dragged the cloth through the grass. Then checked the surface. Here, can you see that? On the very first try, we caught a tick. Ticks have 8 legs, newly hatched larvae have 6, so it's easy to distinguish them from insects. We caught these near a well-used path, and judging by how many we found, it seems to be a tick hotspot. We caught over 30 ticks in just about an hour. Ticks latch onto cloth like this because of how they search for hosts. If you look closely at a tick on this blade of grass, you'll see it holding its front legs up. That's the tick's hunting pose, waiting for a host, like a wild animal or human to pass by. When a host brushes by, the tick grabs on, feeds on blood, and then drops off. So ticks follow their hosts, moving locations as they feed and reproduce. Because of this behavior, ticks can be found anywhere there's grass. Creepy, isn't it? To observe the ticks more closely, I brought them back to the lab. Ta-da! There are so many of them. I tried looking at them under the microscope, but they moved more actively than expected, making them hard to observe. So I trapped them in a small space using a cover slip, and then observed them more carefully. This species is Haemaphysalis longicornis, the same one we mentioned earlier that can transmit SFTS. It's commonly found in fields and mountains in East Asia. Looking closely at their structure, you can see hook-like claws at the ends of their legs. They use these claws to firmly grip onto their hosts, making them hard to shake off. Looking near the tick's mouth, you'll see palps on either side that act as sensory organs. And in the middle, you'll find the piercing mouth part that cuts the host's skin and draws blood. The tick drives this feeding organ into its host to suck blood. Before feeding, ticks are flat. But after feeding, they can swell up to dozens of times their original size. Scary, right? Next, we tested what kind of stimuli ticks respond to in order to locate a host. First, we placed a piece of pork belly nearby, but the ticks showed no interest at all. Even when placed directly on the meat, they quickly moved away. That's because ticks don't feed on meat. They need fresh, living blood. So, ticks detect signs of life to determine whether a host is alive. For example, they sense carbon dioxide released through breathing and chemical compounds found in the smell of sweat. So we tested whether ticks really respond to sweat and carbon dioxide. We prepared 2 cloths, and after running until I was sweaty, I soaked one of the cloths in my sweat. Then we covered dry ice with the cloth so that it slowly released carbon dioxide, and placed the ticks nearby to observe their behavior. After time-lapse recording and watching closely, we saw that the ticks moved toward the cloth with sweat and dry ice. On the other cloth, almost no ticks appeared. When we removed the dry ice and flipped the cloth over, we found ticks clinging to the underside. Ticks use a special sensory organ on their front legs. called the Haller's organ to detect carbon dioxide and sweat chemicals, helping them identify a host. Isn't that fascinating? Based on this ability, there are now insect repellents designed to confuse these sensors, so that ticks can't recognize you as a host. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to our channel. This was Fishy Science, exploring the wonders of nature through science.